Release negotiation remains politically the only way out for President Biden, but those talks broken down or at least suspended for the moment in Cairo with no sign at the moment of a visible breakthrough.
Tom Bateman reporting there. With me in the studio here is Mohamed Taha from BBC Arabic, and as Tom was saying there, a lot of caveats in this report. It doesn't look like it's going to change anything significantly, does it, in terms of the US side of things?
Indeed. This report and the timing of it is trying to put some pressure on Israel to consider the ceasefire and the exchange of hostages, to give a leeway to the American politicians and President Biden in this tense situation. And as the talks nearly collapsed in Cairo, this report is trying to push into Israel and giving an early warning that the United States could limit the amount of weapons that is providing to Israel, putting pressure on the right-wing government in Israel, and trying to tell them that a wide-scale operation in Rafah is not in the interest of all parties.
Yeah, so what is going on currently on the ground in Rafah at the moment?
At the moment, the situation in Rafah is very dangerous. Continuous shelling from the Israeli troops into all parts of Rafah. Rafah now is surrounded completely by Israeli forces, completely sealed from any aid that could arrive to more than 1 million people. The only hospital that is working in eastern Rafah, the Yusuf al-Najjar hospital, is not working efficiently at the moment, lacking medical supplies. The UNRWA warned last night that the food supplies in Rafah would end very soon, and 1 million people are suffering there. Some of these people are now trying to move from Rafah around the danger of war. Of course, some of them decided to stay, thinking that the situation in other parts of Gaza is not more safer. The Israeli cabinet took a decision yesterday for widening the operation in Rafah, and in light of this report that the Americans might not provide Israel with heavyweight bombs, we now thinking, are they going to reconsider their situation in Rafah? Hamas replied on that by launching missiles for the first time since the beginning of the war on Bir Saba or Bir Shiva, and some of these missiles hit some targets in this city and missed the Iron Dome.
And just briefly, you mentioned those talks. Where are things? I mean, it's very hard to say, isn't it? But would you have any idea of where things are on that front?
Both parties, Hamas and Israel, are announced already these talks are collapsed. They are not going anywhere because of the main points that are differentiating between the two parties. Hamas want a sustainable truce, sustainable ceasefire, withdrawal from the Israeli forces from Gaza, and allowing humanitarian aid to go to Gaza. But Israel wants just a truce to exchange hostages and return back to the war. These are main points of differences, but still the Egyptians are calling to both parties to return back to the table. The Americans also are all the time optimistic, and we are optimistic with them for this fire to happen, for the hostages to return back home, for the humanitarian aid to go to Gaza and help these people.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Mohamed Taha from BBC Arabic. Thank you. Now, Russian forces have launched a surprise new ground offensive